I'm an old fan of the farmers market. Have gone there for years. My family has too, and I know you have as well. And I was wondering if you go into the history of the farmers market a little bit and how it entwines with your own history. When did you first learn about it, and how did it grow with your family?
We went immediately when we moved into town. We loved the farmers market. We immediately wanted to be active in it.
Right.
We became a vendor selling Fusion Tide iced tea. I think you remember.
Right.
And we had our daughter Isabella through being vendors there. They called her the market baby. I was like a circus act. They watched me grow. They watched Isabella grow. We created a cafe from the farmers market.
Right.
With all the vendors, everybody. The bread and all of the products that we found were from within the farmers market. The cheese guy Zeke made our tables. They helped us paint. Natural Reflections had jewelry there.
Wow.
Our bread, which was key.
Yeah.
The soap ladies, they had their soap there, and everything was through the farmers market. And then one day we lost the cafe, unfortunately, but that exact same day, Lynn, who was the former manager of the farmers market.
Lynn Weddick.
Yes.
Yes.
She was ready to retire, and we had protested with Lynn for the farmers market.
That's right. I remember there was permitting involved, and I attended as well. I can remember that. Sure.
Yeah, it was a very so we were very affiliated with a strong feeling about the farmers market. That Lynn, she felt that too, that vibe that we loved it just as much as she did, and we do love it just as much as she still does. And said she was ready to retire, and if she needed some young blood, which is with enough heat and heart that Brian and I had, that she had, to take over, and that's what we ended up doing.
Now, this is the Old City Farmers Market at the amphitheater every Saturday. And
that's right.
As Lynn had said, and still, rain or shine.
Rain or shine.
I've gone out there when it's raining before, and there are vendors or two. They're still hanging.
Yeah.
Which is fascinating. But that's 8:30 to 12:30 every Saturday.
That's right.
And it's been going on now, what, 11 years?
This is the 11th year.
Wow, wow. And what was it like filling in Lynn's shoes, and what are some directional changes? How have things been going?
Well, of course, it was not an easy set of shoes to fill.
Right.
By far, especially also being as young as Brian and I are, and having this creative energy and trying to take things slow, and wanting the vendors to be comfortable and secure with us wanting to expand the market, and make sure that things aesthetically that they didn't change as far as we didn't make it into a flea market or anything like that.
Right.
We wanted to keep it a farmer's market, and keep true to the roots that everything has to be handcrafted, and things like that. But it's been an interesting ride. Every single aspect of it has been beautiful and wonderful. You can't make everybody happy. We'll try.
Yeah.
But our intentions are to try to make everybody as happy as we can, and we open everybody to their input, or negative, positive, whatever. We're open for feedback.
If you're just joining us, we're speaking with Carrie Del Rey. She is the manager of the Old City Farmers Market every Saturday at the amphitheater, 8:30 to 12:30. What's the experience like compared to going to a store?
It's a very good question. In fact, our good friend James was just touching on that he felt that going to the farmers market isn't like when you go to a grocery store and you go down an aisle and sometimes you see someone in a weird way, no hard feelings, just don't feel like talking to them. Right. So you kind of go the other way, and it's just maybe because you have a ticking time bomb child in your grocery cart, and you've got 3 more things to get.
Yeah.
It's not like that. It's a friendly atmosphere. You really feel like talking with everyone, and it's the community kind of all comes together, and we're all there together. And
that's true.
It's a nice experience, a nice calming experience of shopping.
That's very true. You're exactly right. A lot of times we go into a store, we run in there, and we're on a time schedule. We've got to do this, that, and the other thing, and it's like, I don't want to get in a conversation. But at the farmers market, you tend to linger. I know we do. We don't want to leave right away.
Well, you could easily make a day out of it.
Yeah.
And another thing with the economy. With everybody struggling, all of us are feeling the same heat.
Right.
That there is no middleman. There's no labor, there's no transportation, and it's good wonderful organic produce. Oh, I guess we can't say organic, but you know, technically, I mean, it's just you're supporting your local farmers, and it's just.
Well, that's a new awareness nowadays. Is how far has your food traveled? How far have your goods traveled? People are starting to pay more and more attention to that with from many aspects, and we get to see that, you know, our produce has only come as far as Lodi, Florida, or right here in Hastings, or somewhere close. There's a big difference in that. I know a lot of produce that has to travel thousands of miles is picked green, and then is treated once it's at the store to turn the colors that we're all used to, and quite often you bite into it and it's flavorless because it was picked green. It wasn't allowed to ripen. One of the reasons we've shopped at the farmers market for so many years is that those fruits, those vegetables, that produce, the bread that's baked, the seafood that we get from Rita and Don, it tastes.
Oh, it does.
I mean, a whole lot different.
Just funny you saying about the bread is that Maria was really late last Saturday, and of course everyone, Maria is our bread lady. Was really late getting there, and she opened up her van, and it was like her bakery came out of the back of her van, and she said, "Oh, we got a late start. I was waiting for the last batch." I mean, literally right before she got to the farmers market, which I thought was
it just comes pouring out.
We're all here together
because you've had this band that's been playing, versions of it have been playing there for better than a decade, and I want to mention versions because there are some stalwarts that are always there, but there's a constant flow of people who come in and bring their instrument and play along. And tell us about that.
They've been playing there for, I mean, this is our 11th year, but like you said, at least a decade, and they are amazing. They play for free, and they get together because it's just something that they love and enjoy.
Yeah. We've got a version, a short version. Let's have a look. I thank you for coming in and sharing the story of the Old City Farmers Market with our vendors. With our viewers.
I've been focusing on them. That's my fault. But absolutely, you know, we hope that you come to the Old City Farmers Market and feel a little bit of that old school, at-home feeling.
Yeah. If people want to learn more, what's the best way to contact you to learn more about the Old City Farmers Market?
They can always call me. I have no problem discussing anything with anyone at 471-3733. And then we also have a website that's still in the working. We're working on some kinks, but it is available for everyone. And that
St. Augustine FM, if I'm not mistaken. So think radio, and you're good to go there. St. Augustine FM, and that's your new website. Great. We'll have a spot to be able to find out more. Carrie, thank you for coming in. Really appreciate it. And I hope you can come back, and maybe we can bring a vendor or two in, and we can learn more about what they do and what aspect they bring to the Old City Farmers Market.
Absolutely. I appreciate it.
You've been we've been speaking with Carrie Del Rey. She is the manager of the Old City Farmers Market right here in St. Augustine. That's Saturdays, 8:30 to 12:30, rain or shine. I love saying that. And you've been Airborne with Matt Jeffs on staugustine.com and 88.5 FM, bringing interesting people from your world so you can stay dialed into your community and the folks who make it tick. See you next time. Praise, oh, praise, I